Heidi ho, my friends. How are you today? I hope you're doing well. So today I am working on this little pocket that I made for a journal. And I thought as I was working on it, I would just take you along with me on my journey to get it completed and kind of show you what I'm doing. So this is basically an envelope that had a really big window in it, and behind it had a really pretty background, and not the flowers but the print that was there. See it, that little flippity floppity stuff. And I had some vellum. Here's the vellum that had this really pretty flower print on it that I've had for a couple of years, and I could not figure out what to do with it. And my desk is a mess. I've been working on 3 different journals. And I thought I got to figure out what to do with this vellum. And then we were working on our garden journal, and I thought, oh, perfect. It's perfect. So I found this envelope, and it just all started coming together. Well, then a lot of things started coming together. So I thought, oh, I want to make a little fairy to go in these little flowers. So what I did was, and you all have probably seen me do this before, I took the vellum and I covered the window on the inside. I didn't cover the background, that little flippity floppity background that I showed you, because I like that, but I'm going to create a tag that goes in there. Then I folded this up, but before I covered that with a little piece of the vellum, I put I have some clear little fairy stickers. I think they're called Pet. You know, they're clear. When you take them off, they're absolutely clear when you put them down. And then I put that in there with the flowers. And then I covered the book page that I covered this envelope with. So it looks like she's inside there too. Of course, I inked completely around it. I added some butterflies to make them kind of go in there too. Now they have that white edge on it, and I really couldn't get rid of it. And then I found a video after I did it showing me how to get rid of that white edge. And I'm going to share that with you guys at another time. So I'm working on my tag right now, and I want to take you along on that journey of doing that. And I think I just found the sticker that I want to put here on the outside, and I think it's this little guy. I think I want him to either go there or there. I haven't quite decided. It depends on where my tag ends up. So for my tag, I'm using these. I have these little, it's called Flower Fairies Miniature Library Books. And they're just little books. They measure, oh gosh, 3 by 4.25. And they're just little tiny books that have the little fairies in them, the little flower fairies in them. And I just love the little flower fairies. I think they're just adorable. And I have a few little flower fairy statues that stand in my flower garden right next to my porch. And then I have a couple of the others in my flower garden out by my big vegetable garden. So to make my tag, I've got a big tag here that's just a little bit bigger. Well, it's the same size as the card, almost. See, you can see it's just not quite, but this white piece I was going to trim anyhow. But I want to ink these edges. So before I do anything, I'm going to ink these edges. Hold on, I need to move this little guy because once static gets a hold of them, they're stuck to everything. So I want to ink the edges of this tag. And I'm just using the vintage photo on it. And I don't want to get the ink all over this down here. because it's oxide, and then it'll get all over my hands, which will get all over everything else. But I wanted this tag to be a little bit darker, so that's why I'm kind of inking it up a little bit. And this tag is they're just cardstock tags that I get my tags at Michael's. And they have a little party supply section, you know, that you can get envelopes and, you know, blank envelopes and cards, things like that. Well, that's where I get my tags, in that aisle. And I love their little cardstock tags. They're the perfect weight for me. Now, you might not like them, but I do. They're the perfect weight for me. And they have several different sizes. They have this bigger size that I'm working on right now. And then they have a size that's just a little bit smaller. I should have done that before I inked it. That's just one size down. There we go. Now, I want to trim this down on this side, so it's the same as this side. So let me put this away here. And grab my paper cutter right here. Okay, so let me grab my little bitty ruler and see what we've got here. Little teeny tiny ruler. Okay, so I can mark where I need to cut. And I do apologize if you see my head, but you probably will. So, I hope you guys are having a good day today. And I want to welcome everybody, all my subscribers and all the new subscribers that we've had over the past couple of weeks. Welcome everybody. All right, let's get this straight. I hope you guys are enjoying your day. Oh, there we go. That looks better. Now, I also want the top to be the same. Now, the top is close to being the same. Now, I will get that same little ragged edge because I do want that ragged edge, but I'll deal with that in a minute. Right now, I'm just worried about size. Okay. And as you can see, it's just a smidgen coming off up there. Just a smidgen. Right there. And luckily, my cutter has that little guitar string to help me line this up. Because you all know I am not one for cutting very straight. There we go. Ah, that's better. Okay, now to give me that little ragged edge, because like over here, this is where I tore it out of the book. To give me the little ragged edge over there that I have everywhere else. All right, you straighten up and settle down. I'm just going to take, that's not what I want. I'm going to take my little knife. And don't panic. My fingers aren't around it. And I'm just scraping my edges here. And I'm kind of going against the paper there a little bit, because I want a little bit of a ragged edge. And if you don't like the ragged edge, by all means, don't don't do it. But I kind of like a little bit of a ragged edge. Now, I don't want my card torn, but I want a little bit of a ragged edge. Just a little bit. That my ink will, this card is slick, and my ink will take better to this. That's why I want that little bit of a ragged edge. Okay. Okay. So now when I ink around the edges, see how it does? It does better. If I would have left them slick, it would not have accepted this very well. There. That's better. Now let's put that away. And let's put this away. Now, I'm going to go over this with a little bit of the darker. Just in places. I'm not doing the whole thing. I'm just tapping it a little bit. There. Just like that. Just like that. All done. Ink is done. So I'm putting the ink away. I'm putting my dauber away. I can move that out of the way. All right, so let's get this paper out of the way that we don't need. Now, oh, here it is. Okay. Now, I want to make sure that this is going to fit. Okay, so I do want to round these corners just a little bit, and I'm just using the little, it's the 4 that I'm using. And what the 4 does is, I didn't get that one in there very good, did I? Is it just nibbles off of it. That's all it does. Come on. Goofy goof. It is not cooperating on that corner. I must have had a piece stuck in it. Yeah, there we go. It just nibbles it and rounds it. Well, except for that corner. It did not round that corner for some reason. All right, so let's get this paper off of here. Okay, so I want to make sure that this is fitting on here because it has to slide down in there. Well, it's just a hair. We'll see if it fits in there. I think it will. But I do want to bring it down because underneath here, oops, that's the wrong drawer. And I got some new washi I want to show you too. But that's going to have to wait. Underneath here, I'm going to put a little bit of cheesecloth. See, I have a lot of space here. I have a lot of space. I can go all the way down to here. Now, I can't make it real chunky, but... Oh, wait a minute. Maybe. Yeah, I can do that. I can't make it real, fat and chunky, but I can put a little bit of this down here for some texture. Just a little bit. And if I have to trim it, I can trim it off a little bit. I'm going to put a little bit of that down there. Let's bring it down. I don't want to cover up the hole. Since the card's not really long, I want to fill that space a little bit. Like that. And I have a little piece of, well, I did. Must be up in the Bibbly-Bob drawer. Ah, here it is right here. Oops, missed it. Come here, you. Right there. I want to put that on it right there. Okay. Now, to make sure that sticks well, I'm just going to use my art glitter glue. Come on, come on. Let me just give it a good poke here. Wake it up. Okay, so I'm going to, this is the front of this. So let's go on and put the art glitter glue on the back of this. And put it right here where we want it. Then we'll turn that over. And put that down. And then we'll glue this down as one piece. Okay, let's make sure that's where we want it. Yep. Okay. Okay. Here we go. Just like that. Put that back in the texture drawer. Now, I could have put some up here, but I'm going to be putting ribbon up there for the tie, so I really didn't want to add any more. I need to make sure that that's going to fit to go down. Okay, so up here for my tie, let's make sure this fits before we... Okay, so all we see, which is all I want to see, okay, I need to, all you see in there are the flowers. See how the flowers, all you see are how the flowers blend in, making that look fuller. But then when you pull it out, you see the babies. I love it. And then our little guy, the little guy that I showed you, where did he go? So there are several that I liked. I liked the little guy because these are called babies. So he's one of the little guys. He's called a little baby. And so is this one. This is one of them too. I think she is just precious. So if we put this back in, and we let the colors show, we see the purples. Whoops, didn't get that in there very straight, did I? We see the purples, we see the reds. I kind of like the red with it. I like that red. She's the little strawberry plant. But this little one, you know, we could add on this side and maybe put her right here. Who says we can't add more than one? I like that one. So maybe we'll add more than one. Yeah, because they're just too stinking cute, aren't they? Okay, so while it's in there, before I add, and maybe we'll have her walking. Maybe we'll have her walking like that. So let me grab hold of my little baby pokey tool here. And these, luckily enough, these come off pretty easy. I was able to take my thumb and on the back of it, just kind of roll it a couple times, and it came off. Now that I've said that, I've jinxed myself. You guys know that, don't you? I've jinxed myself. See, I told you I jinxed myself. Okay, hold on. Okay. Told you as soon as I say it, I jinxed myself. But as soon as I turned off the camera, got it right off. Okay, so let's get this trimmed here. All right, so got both of them put on. Now let's throw away that little plastic stuff. Now let's get our little thing in there. Now I was going to put ribbon in it, and then I'll look up here in our lace thing, in our little lace drawer, and I saw this, and I think I would rather put this in it because it kind of is the same colors. So I think I'm just going to put a little piece of this in it. And if you don't like these, these hole protectors that are in it, you can put different ones in them, with your crocodiles. You can do that. I've done that many times. If I'm doing, summer ones or something, I just put different ones in them over top of them. Make them a little more colorful. Okay, so let me get a hold of this. Come on. And then you can also add hanging off of this, because this has all those little things. You can add beads, you can add charms. But you do just need to make sure this is only an envelope. So you do need to make sure that it's going to fit, where you have it. Now, you can, if you don't want to glue this into your journal, this can be what's called, there. Now I do like that. I don't particularly like the white showing. So I think I'm going to ink that a little bit darker around the white. Because when it's in there, it shows up really, really white. And I don't think I like that. I think I want the white darker. There. Okay, let's see if that works better. Because everything else is so much darker. Oh, yeah, I like that much better. I like that much better. Yeah, now it doesn't stand out as much. Okay, so now the flowers just kind of, kind of blend in with it until you pull it out. Now down here, this is a pocket. So I can create another little tag, or I can put something else in there with more flowers if I choose. Now, this can be, as I was saying, this can be what I call walking pockets, where it can walk through your journal, or you can find a specific home for it. Now, I was going to put this in our garden journal. Now, I wanted to show you how our garden journal has changed. This is our garden journal. You might be saying, excuse me, that looks different. Well, it is different. After our last video where I said we were wrapping her up, I tied her up and I let her sit, and I came back and looked at her the next day, and the spine had started to crack. The original spine had started to crack right in here. Right here, this is the original spine. And it had started to crack because look how chunky she is. She's a chunky girl. And I thought, that is not going to do. No sirree bub. So I had to cut the entire journal apart. Let me see. This is the spine. This is the original spine. And this is where it started to crack. No, that's upside down. This is where it started to crack across the bottom, and it started to crack across the top right here. Now, this was already there, these cracks in here. I wasn't worried about that. That was in the middle. But right here, see that crack right there? It had started to crack across there. And down across the bottom, it had started cracking. Across the bottom there, and it had started across here. And I thought, that is not going to do. No sirree bub. So I cut the original spine out. So it was creepy scary, let me tell you, because I had this front piece, I had this back piece, and I had the I had all of these signatures were still attached to the original hidden spine. They were just laying on my work table. And it was like, oh, good gravy. Now what do I do? So I had to create a new spine. I had to create this new spine. And it went from being the original 1¼ inches to being, it is now 2¾ inches. The spine is now 2¾ inches across here. From there to there. No, it's 2½ inches. I'm sorry, it's 2½ inches. So it got substantially larger. So then I had to take out the signatures from the original spine. I had to untie them from the spine, and I had to tie them in to this new spine. So they're already decorated. They were already in. I had to untie them and tie them back in one at a time. Now, I've done that before for one, you know, that after I put in, it was upside down, but it wasn't decorated before. So that was really kind of creepy, having to tie my signatures in and they were already decorated. It was like, oh my gosh, what if I really messed something up? So after I got it in, I had to figure out, you know, how am I going to decorate it on the outside, because I can't keep the original one because this is too wide. So I added the fabric, the lace, and this, and I made, here it is. I made the spine dangle to hook to it. Here it is, right here. The spine dangle to hook to it. And I can take this dangle off whenever I want to come and work on it. It hooks to that like that and hangs down there. Now I still have the original closure that we made with the bead for the front, and I just put everything in here while I was making this pocket. I'm actually making 3 things today, but I wanted to share that with you about why this journal looks so different all of a sudden. So we're going to be adding this pocket right here, and we're going to be taking these pockets. These are sticky pockets, and these are so much fun. And I'm going to be taking some dried flowers that I dried last year, and we're going to be putting them inside here. These open up. Let me get a hold of it here. This one right here is like a canning jar, and it's got, let me show you the inside of it. It's got like a zip top, like your zip top bags across there, and then you can place inside of it whatever you want and zip it closed. So you could put in here, you know, flower seeds. You could put in there whatever you want and zip it closed, and then place it in your journal with a paper clip. You could glue it down. You could do whatever you want. Now these, I've had these for many years, and I just pull out the one that I happen to be interested in. And for this particular journal, depending on the size of the flower that I choose, will, you know, tell me which one of these that I'll have to use. Let me get my flower real quick, and then we'll do this. So hold on just a second. Okay, so on my table, I have some dried lavender and a dried Japanese anemone, and I am going to use those. So we are going to start with this one, And I think I'm going to use this jar for the lavender. Now, this one does not hold things very flat, so I might not use that one. I might use this tall, thin one. Yeah, well, it's perfect for that one. And for this one, I might save it. I have some lavender seeds that I dried. I may put the lavender seeds in there. And we'll do that at a later time. Now, these are a stinker most of the time. You take your thumb at the top and you roll. See, and I say that, and I can never get it. So, wait a minute, let me move these flowers. Because once you open them, you have to use them. And I may have to go off camera and do this because I have a hard time with these. Sometimes I can get them lickety split, and other times, let's try the bottom. I'm going to need my tweezers. Okay, hold on a second. Okay, I've got this one. Now, as you can see, I've got a piece of tape on the ends here. Oops, don't you dare. Now, I'm going to put that tape. Now, don't cut, when you separate it, don't cut it apart because you want to keep that. But I want to tape it down so it's not flopping around on me. And pull it up to where you want it. And then place your item. And then slowly bring it back down on it. Now, as you can tell, my stem is too long. So I need to trim my stem. And I'm going to use the end of this. I'm trying to make sure you can see me. And go right over top of it. And then you can put a label on the inside of it. You can put a label on the outside of it, wherever you choose to label it. Okay, and then whenever you're ready to close it, take your tape off of it. There. Now, I don't know if you can see the little open edges, but yeah, this one came with something stuck to it, so I've been trying to get that off. There. Okay, so now it's a nice, clear little pocket stuffer. Okay. And now I'll do the same for this one. But before I do that, I can go on and decide how I want this arranged and how long I need them, because these are really long. And that is, this is a short little fat jar. So I'm going to want these to go like that. So I'm going to arrange these to sit like that. And anything I trim off of it. Okay, so I want this to be trimmed right about here. So nothing can be longer than that one. Ooh, I wish you guys could smell this. Okay, so this one needs to be trimmed right above that bud. Then I can use that bud. Here, let's move this. Now these little buds and these things over here I can use because I want those to sit right there in the bottom. These leaves I can use. All these leaves here I can use. I just need to trim that top piece. And I can use this little piece here. But I have to remember it can't be real long. And neither can this piece. Now this piece is on a thick part of this stem. So I would probably be better off taking these leaves and those petals and putting them in that other one that I had. All right, so I want that one to sit like that. Those I'm going to put inside the other one, that blue one that I showed you, this one. I'm going to pull those apart and put in there. Okay, so let's get this piece apart. All right, let's see if this one comes apart any easier. I found with the other one, if I took this at the bottom, and I just poked and lifted, it came right up. See, I keep jinxing myself, don't I? All right, how about we put that piece of tape back I had? And let's try that. Because I poked right through that piece of tape. Let's see if that works. All right, I'll be right back. Okay. Now let's do this again. Okay, there's that one. Okay, that one needs to be a little bit shorter. There's that one. I want that one right there in the middle. Okay, so again, I'm going to start lowering this down, trying to keep out the plastic. Now, once you get things, you know, of any bulk in them, they do get, they don't lay flat. But these are already dried, so you don't want to put anything in these that is not dry. So clear stickers work great in these. Clear stickers work super in these. Your little things that make dangles, these make great things to put your little sequins in. Now, they won't shake because the inside here is a sticker. So they won't shake. Once they're in there, they're stuck. Because it's a great big sticker. So it's stuck down. They're not going anywhere. So anything like a plant that you put in it does need to be dried. There. And now there's another one that I can put in a pocket. Okay, so now in here, we are going to put this lavender in here. So to keep it from making such a huge mess on my desk, I'm going to stick it in there and then pull it off with my fingers. Because dried lavender goes everywhere. It does smell good, but it does go everywhere. And then I can label this just like I would one of my canning jars. Oh my gosh, you guys, if you could smell this. All right, let's get these seeds. Whoops. Let's get these seeds. Well, these seeds aren't going to let me pick them up. So I think I would just be better off just putting it in a pile and trying to pick it up. Let's see if I can do that. Because it's just going everywhere. Okay, let's try that. Let's get the stems off. Oh, even the stems smell good. So let's maybe try even these. No, I don't want the stems in there. They'll be yucky looking. All right, let's get all this stuff together. All right, let's open this up. All right, now, let me see if I can get it up on this piece of paper. Oh, that's better. Now, the ones like this, you probably could make a little shaker. Like I could add some purple to it or something like that. Now, I can come back to this one and add some more lavender if I want. Because this one, the only thing that seals on this one is that little zip top. There. Now, it doesn't let it move a lot, but I can come back and add more. And since it's dried, it's not going to, it's not going to affect it. But again, anything you put in your journals needs to already be processed. Don't put any fresh food, anything like that in your journals. Okay. Now, let's get these in our journal. Okay. Let's get this stuff off of the desk. Okay, here. I think I want to stick that one right there. Oh, that one's not down. So how about, whoops, so sorry. How about we put this right there. See, it's just the back, it's just an old envelope. There's a whole playlist that's called Pockets, Pockets, and I use lots and lots of envelopes. We get all that junk mail. We might as well use up those envelopes. And let me tell you, I have got tons of envelopes. I have an entire storage box full of envelopes. Maybe we'll just have a day of the week where we just use and make things out of envelopes. Okay, now let's find a pocket to put this in. Oh, goodness. And there's one of my hairs. Don't be surprised what you'll find in this journal. Let's see. Where can we put this little purple guy? Oh, here. We can put him back here. We'll put the lavender back there. And then this one, let's find a home for him back here. I think I needed something back here. Oh, I did. There. We'll put him right back there. There we go. All right. Now everybody has a home. Okay. So let's get this tied back up. Okay, so now I will do a final flip through I'll post a video on the final flip through of this so you guys can see how everything finally turned out, including the replacement spine. And that way you can see everything that we've done and everything that I've added. And I want to thank you again for joining me today and for adding our last items that I had to add. And I hope that you've had fun creating this journal. I know I have. I have just had so much fun with this little journal. It has just made me so happy, and I hope it's made you happy too. So this is how she ties. I find the middle, and I come back here, and it wraps around here. I try to keep it in the middle anyhow. Sometimes I do have to adjust it, and this one little button is always a little stinker to get it under, and then I try to make sure that my ends are even before I do anything else. And if they're not, I adjust them, because I'm going to have to wrap it around back there so that it doesn't come off. Okay, so wrap it around once. Wrap it around once. Okay, then bring it around to the front. Squish. Bring it around to the front. Bring it around this way. I know it's in your way. I know. There we go. There we go. And then I just tie my little bead on. This little bead. I made a little knot where I want it to stop. So I tie that little knot. Oh, see, my string isn't even there. So I put my ends through my little knot, or through my bead, because she's got nice big ends there. And then I tie my string so I know that that's where I want her to go. And then I tie it down. And then when it's ready to come off, I just unwind it. And then and I have to be careful with that, because that's a glass bead, that I don't break it. And then this hooks onto there, just like that. So when she stands up, she stands like that. It'll stand like that in my bookcase, and my bead won't touch down there. She goes almost to the bottom, but not quite to the bottom. So there we go. So we will do a final flip through, and I'll try to get it posted for you guys very soon, so you'll be able to see her. And again, thank you for joining me. I'm so glad that you did. And I hope you're having fun working on the journals, all the fun journals that we've been doing. And until I see you again in our next video, ta-ta for now.